In this world, everyone is hunting and killing divine beasts. Only I follow behind them, collecting the remains of divine beasts, because this is the era when divine beasts walked upon the earth. There was once a time they were immortal and undying to mortals, until one day mortals awakened sequence abilities. Some awakened the assassin sequence and could turn invisible. Some awakened the deceiver sequence and could imitate others. As for me, I awakened the Devourer God Sequence, never seen before. As long as I absorb divine beasts, I can grow stronger to avoid being researched by others and turned into a specimen. I had to hide my identity, collect some divine beast remains and absorb them. The entire safe zone is covered by a barrier of divine beasts, so I have to leave the safe zone every day. There are god hunting teams clearing divine beasts outside. There perhaps I can collect some divine beast remains, but on Saturday I went to the largest safe zone gate nearby. At this time, safe zone gate number 114 was already surrounded tightly without gaps. In front of the shelter stood more than a dozen people wearing protective helmets and cold-resistant clothes. At this moment, 2 awakened sequence users had just completed their hunting mission, took off their helmets, preparing to return, while several hundred ordinary people around immediately turned back. I wanted to squeeze through the crowd to see whether any divine beast remains had been left behind, but was immediately pushed out with no other way. I could only wait at the outer circle until evening. I finally managed to stand near the front. Unfortunately, those remains were all taken away by government officials. I gained nothing, just as I thought today I would return empty-handed. I saw a piece of divine flesh vibrating as it fell out of the backpack of an awakened sequence user. I looked at that piece of divine flesh and my eyes lit up, preparing to secretly pick it up while no one was paying attention. But a sanitation worker swept the piece of flesh into a trash can, then turned and left. I immediately followed the sanitation worker away from the safe zone gate. Finally, I saw him dump the piece of flesh into a trash can at the corner of the street. Watching the sanitation worker leave, I immediately ran over excitedly and opened the trash can. The scene inside the trash can made me freeze inside. It was entirely divine beast remains. This was truly a rare opportunity. Looking at the trash can filled to the brim with divine beast remains, I took a deep breath. Sure enough, I am the chosen one. After confirming there was no one around, I directly picked up the piece of flesh at the top. Although it looked rather frightening, it still emitted powerful energy fluctuations. Ordinary people would probably not dare to touch it, but to grow stronger, I still tried to absorb that source of energy. After a period of conversion, the divine beast energy gradually merged into my body. Although it felt a bit of pressure, the effect was not bad. It was even easier to absorb than I imagined. If all divine beast remains have such effects, then I will not hold back anymore. I smiled excitedly and immediately began absorbing continuously. Strangely, no matter how much I absorbed, it did not seem to stop. Perhaps it is related to my sequence ability. After more than an hour, I finally absorbed all the divine beast remains in the large trash can. At that moment in my mind, a notification sounded. The Devourer God Sequence leveled up. Current level 2 obtained. Skill Divine Blood Devour can absorb violent skills for 10 minutes. Strength, speed and endurance increase threefold during this time. No pain is felt. Finally, I leveled up. The new violent skill can greatly enhance my combat ability. This also means I can join a god hunting team to kill divine beasts. Although rummaging through trash cans is not a long-term plan, but the biggest problem is that I cannot let others know that I am the Devourer God Sequence. I must find another sequence to disguise myself at this moment. Chaotic footsteps sounded behind me. A drunk man was staggering toward this direction. If he discovers anything unusual about the trash can, I am afraid it will soon be sealed off and investigated. I must leave now. There is no time to wipe clean the traces on my body. Quickly, stuffing more than 10 divine beast remains into the backpack. I slung the backpack over my shoulder and ran. Luckily, it was only a drunk. If I were caught with this entire backpack of divine beast remains, it would truly be impossible to explain. I hugged the backpack and slipped through the dark alleys, intending to run straight home, but just as I turned into a dark alley, misfortune suddenly struck. A small knife from the corner of the darkness shot straight toward my right eye. Fortunately, my speed had already surpassed ordinary people, and I immediately dodged. 3 figures stepped out from the dark corner, their faces covered in dirt. Didn't expect that. Just sleeping here for a while and a fat guy would suddenly show up. Brothers, we are really lucky. I coldly asked, what do you want? What do we want? Is that even a question? Of course. To rob you. I don't have money right now. In my heart I was extremely anxious. The divine beast remains disappearing. Could be exposed at any moment. I must leave this town as soon as possible. One man slicked back his oily hair and showed a vile smile. No, money is fine. Just leave the backpack. These 3 were targeting my backpack. I looked at the backpack inwardly, then raised my hand to cover the seeping mark, secretly knowing this was bad inside the backpack. Although there was nothing valuable, I could not hand it over. Nothing valuable. Really? Then open it and let us take a look. Kid in this alley, running so fast. Looks like you are trying to escape.